everybody. So this is our weekly video for February 14th through 18th. And yeah, let's jump into it. So Monday, the 14th, we will, your students will be finishing their interpret and analyze packets, which they've been working on for a couple of weeks. We've been studying one topic for several weeks now. They've written already one summary for 4 sources, which is like a pretty big deal. To write a concise summary about 4 different things is not something that you're born knowing how to do. And your students did great on it. We're doing a second one. Some students finished it this Wednesday, but the majority of students are going to finish it in class on Monday. If it's not done in class on Monday, it is homework. And students need to fill out the late work form when they finish that. Otherwise, I won't have a way of knowing that they finished it. I do not get email notifications from Google Classroom. But most students, I think, will finish it because they've already done the really hard work of reading the texts and reading the charts and summarizing what they've read, asking academic questions and answering those academic questions about them. And now they're just compiling information. And since we do it online, they're just copying and pasting. So, and then of course they're going to spell check and edit, hopefully. But yeah, most of the hard academic content work is done. So Tuesday I'm reserving for revising if necessary, makeup time, enrichment for kids who are done. And then Wednesday, we're finally starting the research project. I'm so excited. So basically Wednesday I will talk to the kids about, I'll just introduce the topic. They're probably not going to do a ton Wednesday. I'll introduce the topic. We'll talk about some of the ways they can present that project, which really they're going to have some flexibility. They are going to have a writing piece, but then they also have to have another component, and they're going to have a lot of flexibility. I always tell kids that they are more creative than I can be. They're going to think of things that they might want to do that I'm not going to think of. So I have a list of examples of things they can do. Like I've had kids do podcasts. I've had kids do a Google site. I've had kids do flyers. I've had kids do poster boards. I've had lots of things. And so, but the point is a lot of those were student driven. So I'm very open. Your student just needs to come talk to me if they have an idea. And usually if I usually don't say no, I just might help them kind of like, oh, okay, that seems like it might be too big. Let's try to narrow it down, make it more manageable for you, that kind of thing. Same thing with the topic. They're going to really have, I will provide a list of ideas, but I'm going to also help them develop ideas and generate ideas. So if there's something that your kid is like always talking to you about and you're like, that's awesome, that might be what you want to have them research. So just put put a little mention in their ear to start thinking about that, because we'll be starting to talk about that on Wednesday. Thursday, we will be working with our Pride Sheet again, getting pretty close to that. We're going to be doing the literary analysis. And the first day, this Thursday, we're just going to do notes and a discussion. I don't expect that they're going to do a ton in their own notebook or in their own Pride Sheet. But certainly they're not going to finish it. They'll have one more week to work on that because that's the biggest part. Speaking of the Pride Sheet, remember that your students are doing that on a novel that they are reading on their own time. I give them a ton of class time to work on it also, but they need to be reading at home. Some students have already finished the book. If your students already finished the book, that's great. We can solve that. I can give them time to go to the library to get another book. But they need to be currently reading a book at all times. And so today, Friday, the 11th, I had students check in to see how many pages they needed to read a day on average, considering we have about 25-ish days left, but that includes weekends. And honestly, it'd be great if they finished a little bit earlier than that. Before we sort of have a little bit of a book celebration before we leave at spring break. So some students were like, I need to read 1 page a day. So that kid's obviously going to finish their book. That's great. Other students need to read like 25 pages a day. And so they need to pick up the pace a little bit. So maybe ask your student about that. Hey, how many pages do you have left in your book? And keep a dialogue up about that at home. Talk to them about their book. Show them you're interested. So that's Thursdays, and that's this Thursday specifically. And then Friday, we will be doing vocab. And they'll have Memby and Quill time. One last reminder, Memby and Quill, they still need to be doing an average of 45 minutes of Memby a week and passing 2 lessons of Quill a week, but I only am grading it once a month. So I will grade it on February 27th. To see how they did from January 31st through February 27th. But you can still check in. I had them do a Memby and Quill check-in in class this week just so they know where they are, because I know out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, you can also have them pull that up. Quill, you can't see how they're doing. I mean, you can see what they're passing, but it doesn't give timestamps on their end, which is kind of weird. But I can always tell them or tell you if you have a question. It does give me timestamps about when they finish stuff. So anyways, I think that's it. If you, as always, if you have any questions at all, please reach out. Have a great weekend. Bye.